Hello, sweet, beautiful IG family. Oh, I hope that you're all doing well. I'm sending you so much love. Hope you receive this love that I'm sending you as you're watching this video. Embrace it with an open heart. I felt so called to show up and to be of service tonight. It was actually interesting because I got done working a shift and I got home and I just really felt this strong urge and this desire to show up on Instagram. So I actually went live posting that I was gonna do one card polls, prayer requests, and then just really hold the space. That's what I felt like I needed to do. So I did go live. I got to do a couple of readings on there, which was really beautiful. And it was kind of more of a quiet live. I feel like typically when I'm so divinely guided to go live, a lot of people come through. I always trust that if I am guided to go live, it's because people need it and they're gonna show up. So it was really interesting because it was very quiet. So I kind of was inquiring of, okay, I felt like I was supposed to go live. It wasn't really a lot of people were not coming through. Why? Why was I guided to go live? And then it kind of came through a little bit more clearly that I needed to record a video so that this video can transcend and move throughout all time and space to find every single beautiful soul who is needing to hear this message, not even just right now in this here moment, but maybe in the future, maybe months down the road, years down the road, right? Anytime that I show up to be of service, and I mean this from every essence of my heart, I genuinely set the intention that it will travel throughout all time and space to find whoever needs the messages embedded within. The reason why I wish to do this, and I wish so much to be of service in this way, is because I've genuinely found and have had videos and podcasts that found me in my own perfect divine timing and genuinely have, I don't want to say saved my life because that sounds dramatic, but seriously have shifted everything for me, have gotten me through funks, have spoken to my heart and my soul, have gifted me with so much that I needed right in that moment. So this is my way of showing up, being of service, and giving back so that hopefully this message can find whoever it needs to find. So without further ado, I want to speak a little bit about the anxiety that maybe has been happening within the collective. Maybe you've been feeling it personally. I know I have. I actually posted a story yesterday saying, hi, it's me, I'm anxious. And then it was funny because later, after I had posted that, I kind of looked back at my story and I was like, I've coached so many people, myself included, to not claim whatever it is they're feeling. So not claiming I am anxious, not claiming I am sick, not claiming these things. It's so important to claim what we want to be and what we know we are, right? So one of my favorite affirmations you'll hear me say often is I am love in human form. And so it was really interesting to see that I had claimed that I am anxious, and I almost deleted that story because I was sitting there and I'm like, Amarita, you know better than this. Like, why would you claim that? But it's literally how I've been feeling. I have been feeling very, very anxious lately. I have been feeling, so this is what I coach my clients and what I coach myself on is saying, I am feeling anxious. I am feeling under the weather. I am experiencing this, not I am this, right? So I kept it up and I feel it was for a reason because the amount of beautiful souls that responded to that story and interacted with that story, sharing that they have been feeling the exact same way, blew my mind. First off, it reminds me that we're all one and that we're never alone and that everyone is dealing with things we may or may not know anything about, right? We're all just walking each other home, and I think that's so big. This song lyric is popping in my head, so I want to share it. And I've shared this before. I don't know if I've done it on lives or a podcast or whatever, but it says, it's a Hawaiian reggae song. And he says, if we all put our problems in a bag, which bag would you grab? And that is so real. Like if everybody put all their problems in a bag, tossed them in the middle, and you grabbed a bag, you still have a bag of problems. This is a part of the human experience. It's not all of it. We don't have to struggle. We don't have to suffer. And yet, it's a big part of our human experience and our soul's evolution. I genuinely believe this, and I feel like this is why we're here, to grow and expand and to learn and to grow through what it is that we're going through, right? Have you ever heard that expression? Grow through what you go through. This is a very real thing for a reason, right? So feeling these anxieties lately, feeling feelings of depression, feeling deep sadness, feeling dark nights of the soul, really going through it personally. I've had a lot of different things that have happened on my journey recently, and even past things that are coming up, very deeply rooted wounds that I've been processing and releasing and healing through, growing through, I should say. So having all of that come up, it's so interesting because for me, the first thing I want to do is retreat. When I'm not feeling like my best self, when I'm not feeling like my highest self, when I'm feeling deep in my bag, deep in my shadows, the first thing I do is run away. I want to hide. Literally me. This is me. I'm like, don't look at me. I'm not feeling great. I'm not feeling my best. I can't hold great space for you. I can't bring the joy. I can't spread the love, be the peace, bring the light. I'm just feeling sad. I just want to cry. I just want to lay in my bed. I just want to never leave my house. These are the feelings and the emotions that I have been processing and working through. And this is very, very real, especially because the holiday seasons can bring up a lot for a lot of people. And I just want to say really quick, I'm very proud of us collectively for acknowledging mental health and for talking about this. I've seen so many posts and so many different platforms that are speaking to what feelings the holidays may bring up for some. And I think that that's really important to speak on. And I'm so proud of us as a collective for prioritizing mental health, for prioritizing our well-being, for prioritizing our whole selves, mind, body, and soul. This is huge. This is something that we get to celebrate as a collective, that we've come a long way, that there's no longer shame in that. And I think that that's so important. So important. So my message is really, because I know I've just randomly kind of talked about different things. When we are experiencing lows or highs or whatever it is that we're experiencing on our journey, it's so important that we wrap ourselves in love, that we are still able to be vulnerable and to live with an open heart, even when all we want to do is close off. Because this is really when we need the most love, and really when we are able to show up for one another and support one another and remind one another and all of us that we don't have to do this alone. So again, if I would have deleted that story because I claimed I am anxious, then I maybe wouldn't have connected with so many of you that have been feeling the same way. My biggest message to you is, it's okay, sweet love. It's okay. You are safe. You are supported. You are held. You are never, ever, ever alone. And it is okay to feel your feelings. It's my biggest lesson. And this is me speaking to little Amarita that just wanted to be loved and just wanted to be seen, and now has developed so many different coping mechanisms like people pleasing, trauma responses, so many different things that are grained and rooted in little Amarita, who just needed to know she was safe. That's all she needed to know, that she was going to be okay, that she was safe, and that she was still loved. So I've been doing a lot of work of sending little Amarita all of that love and really working with that inner child within me, and also working with myself now of knowing it's okay to have a shadow. I think that in our collective, we talk a lot about the ego, and there's almost this energy of like the ego being this horrible, bad thing, this scary thing of like, how dare you have an ego? When in reality, our ego, our shadow self, is trying to keep us safe. Like, our ego exists to literally keep us alive and to keep us safe, actually. So not only that, but our ego, our shadow self, is the self that needs the most light and the most love. Think about that for a moment. Our shadow self is the part of us that needs the most light and love to just be acknowledged. And once we can acknowledge it, then we don't have to maybe play into those stories anymore. We don't have to get stuck in those periods of feeling sad or feeling depressed or feeling anxious. We can recognize, okay, where is this coming from, and maybe dive deeper. Or sometimes we just need to lay down. We just need to rest. And in a culture that really does not prioritize rest, it's so important that we know when we need to rest. Because think about it. When is it that people, majority, okay, Not everyone. When is it that people start taking their health seriously? When their health is compromised. When is it that people start taking their relationships seriously? Not always, sometimes. When it's in the breaking point, when someone gets cheated on or someone cheats, or they are threatening to leave. We don't have to get to the breaking point to start to really pay attention to these things and to give these things attention, right? So I want to stick with the prioritizing rest because I think that's most important, and prioritizing health, optimal health. If we can prioritize optimal health now when we are already in good health, that is so important. We don't have to get to a place that our health becomes compromised, that then we recognize how important it is. I think this is something that is so crucial and needs to be spoken about as well. When it comes to dealing with feelings of anxiety, man, I could go on forever. I'm already at 11 minutes, and I know that this video may be a little bit long, this IGTV, but it's so important to speak for me and to share, especially right now. I will tell you a few things that have been lifeboats for me through these last couple of months, being very deep in my bag, feeling very anxious, feeling very depressed, feeling worthless at points, feeling very sad. Breath work, non-negotiable. Like, for me to take the time and space to breathe and do breath work is so important to me, and I'm going to tell you why. As a child experiencing trauma, we aren't going to go into what it was or how often it was, doesn't matter. Something that how do I want to say this? Something that I picked up, something that I would do to keep myself safe is I would hold my breath. I would go plant mode, I call it. Like, I would literally hold my breath and just like, and I noticed, it probably was now a couple years ago, maybe a year ago, that I noticed this, that when I'm feeling anxious, I hold my breath. When I'm feeling uncomfortable, I hold my breath. When I'm feeling like someone's angry with me or upset with me, or I feel any form of conflict, I hold my breath. I do not breathe. So consciously breathing is very, very crucial for me personally. Maybe that resonates for you, sweet love. Maybe it doesn't. I've actually had friends that I've witnessed them doing it too. And I think I've witnessed it because it's something that I've now brought such the awareness in that I do of holding my breath when I'm feeling anxious, or it's a trauma response for me. So I've now witnessed when others are doing it as well, but it's so important that we remember to breathe. Just taking a deep breath, even right now if you're watching this video. The power of the breath, which we also take for granted sometimes. Just food for thought. So for me, breathing, huge, 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 huge. Sleeping, but managing my sleep, because when I get in these funks, I can sleep for a very long, unhealthy amount of time. Like, the most I ever slept, I remember I was feeling very depressed at the time. I was in a very critical life change, and I slept for 19 hours straight. So it's important for me to manage my sleep, to let myself rest and to let myself take the sleep that I need, but to not oversleep and to get stuck in that. It can be unhealthy for me personally. So managing sleep, make sure I'm getting enough, but not too much. Listening to music, that's a big one. For me, it's allowing the emotions to flow with music. I have had a block with crying. Those that know me very well may know this. I've shared this with many clients and friends. I had a pretty serious block. I wouldn't let myself cry. And I would start to cry. Inner child, psst, inner child, little Amarita. I would start to cry and I would hear these voices. Like, look at you crying, you're so pathetic. Like, oh, I bet you're feeling so sorry for yourself, huh? Like, oh, I bet you think that your life's so hard, huh? Mean voices that were not mine, that were not of unconditional love. This is a real thing. Maybe you think I'm crazy. I'm just saying, I know I'm not the only one. So I would hear this voice that I can actually identify and know where it comes from now, because a lot of the healing work that I've done. but I didn't always know. So I would plug it up. I wouldn't cry. I would just stuff it down, stuff it down, stuff it down. Don't be weak. Don't you cry. How dare you? Feeling sorry for yourself. Pathetic. Just literally had to, what I had to shrink myself through, work myself through. That was a big thing for me. So now I notice when I need to release in that way and to allow myself to feel safe to cry, I will put myself in a place that I feel safe. So maybe even like a closet or in my bedroom where Mila isn't there, because I love Mila, my pup. She's so sweet. But if I start to cry, she'll like smother me and get all up on me. And I know many of you may be thinking like, what? That's amazing. When you want her to support you. But when it comes to healing that wound of being neglected, it almost would feel overwhelming when I am like smothered. That feels smothering to me. So it's part of my healing process, just me personally, something unique that I've worked through. So I will literally put myself like in my room or in a closet where I'm just completely alone and play a song that is going to allow my emotions to flow so I can get them out. Emotions, energy, and motion, letting them flow. And then last but not least, something else that I want to share is coming back to my passions, doing the things that make me happy, doing the things that make me feel amazing. These are non-negotiables for me. And that could be anything for me. I'm very multi-passionate. I believe that we all are, but drawing, singing, dancing, going for walks, being in nature, making something with my hands, doing a puzzle, like these are all things that I am passionate about. So that is very important, to do the things that make me feel good, make me feel strong. My dad used to always tell me, and he still does, do the things that make you strong. Like shooting my bow, I feel so strong when I'm pulling that bow back. Like I love being able to shoot my bow. Not always able to, because that's something that I have to be in the right environment to do. But following our passions, right? Knowing what those things are. Very, very important, very crucial. One thing that I want to speak to, even with my loves, even with doing all these things, having all these tools, there were still just moments where I needed to just feel it all and to just feel it. Not to journal it away or try to do all these, use all my tools that I have in my tool bag, which I'm so grateful for, but I just needed to feel it. So my loving message to you is, even with having all the tools, even with the breath work, even with the music, even with the passions, even with all the things, sometimes we may just feel sad. We may have feelings of anxiety. This is very, very normal. And I feel like we're led to believe and almost deceived that there's something wrong with us when we feel those things. The human experience is no joke. We're constantly stimulated. We have constant timelines and deadlines, and we're put in this container that as human beings is not our most natural state. So, however you feel is valid. Truly. Whatever you're feeling, whatever you're working through, whatever you're growing through, it's all in your own way. It's all in your own timing. And I would strongly encourage you to, yes, do the things that make you feel strong, to, yes, reach out for support and reach out for coaches or healers, or go through whatever healing modality is going to honor you and support you. And also, just be with yourself. And I'm a big believer in asking, what is this teaching me? And yet sometimes when we're in the thick of it, it can be too much to ask that. Sometimes we just need to feel it. Literally, to sit with it. I don't know if you've heard, what's popping in my head too is like that, don't drink it away, don't smoke it away, don't eat it away, like don't distract it, right? Just sit with it. So whatever you're going through, I want you to know how loved you are. I want you to know that you are never alone. I want you to know that, again, whatever you are feeling is so valid. I want you to know that what you are feeling is temporary. That's one of the biggest things that gets me through, is knowing I've made it through 100% of my hardest days and 100% of my worst days, that I always have, that I always will. That even though I am very strong, it's okay sometimes to not be so strong, and to keep my heart open. That's a huge message that I want to share as well. Keep your heart open, sweet love. Keep that beautiful heart of yours open. I promise you, there are going to be beautiful souls along your journey that see your beautiful heart, that feel your energy, that witness your greatness, even maybe in some of your low moments, and they will fall in love with all of you, the whole of who you are. They will not even fall in love. They will grow in love with all of you, because that light that they see in you, they know is also within them. The light I see in you is the light you see in me. And the more that we can ground this in as a collective, imagine that. Oh, even talking about it, it gets me so excited. Imagine the world if we all genuinely saw that love within each other. We even saw when we're struggling and we just loved each other more for it. And we really came from this space of compassion, unconditional love, and grace. We need grace in our world. So, I know I just talked for over 20 minutes. I can't even believe it, and also I can't. I had a lot to say. If you watched this whole thing, you are a champion. If you stuck with me for this whole thing, thank you, thank you, thank you for allowing me to speak. Thank you for opening your heart. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here now. I see you, I love you, I honor you, I support you. If you need a prayer request, if you need a virtual hug, if you need a voice note jam-packed with so much loving energy, if you need some more love right now, receive all of this love. It's coming so genuinely from my heart space to yours. You are never alone. I love you, I see you, I honor you, I'm with you. And I wish for something amazing to happen to you, and it will. Thank you so much for listening. In limitless love, I will catch you later.